Hey, welcome back. I'm Janessa Rose. Hey. Usually I write notes and I have notes to go over things. But there's been a couple topics that have been bouncing back and forth in my head this week because of personal things that I've been facing this week that I really want to talk about. Like topics that have been coming up in my life, like how to approach it. So I'm just gonna wing today's episode, you guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about, but we're just gonna go through it, okay? So I've been facing this week, there's been a lot of emotions popping up. Ever since that full moon came, I've witnessed not only in my own personal life, but in every single person that I'm close to, I've noticed flips on their side too. I've seen all of them. And I'm like, wow, like blown away by it. I don't know if you guys pay attention close to shit like that, but I do. So I peeped everything. And I'm just like, wow, 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 the way things have flipped. I noticed who resist. I noticed who accepted, who embraced, who faltered, so on and so forth. And mainly, like, I've been, while I was watching everybody's stuff, this couple, last 2 weeks, I've been like, yo, like, because I'm watching them and I'm involved in their lives as well, this is also my experience. So then I switched my gears, like I switched my focus. And I don't focus on why they're going through it. I focus, why am I witnessing it? Why am I also a part of it and watching them go through these things, as well as me going through these things, right? So it's been a crazy week because I've been emotionally bombarded by important things, people that I love with all my heart. And you know what I'm saying? And then people that I once felt that way about. So it's just been a really crazy week for me. So forgiveness came up for me. And how do I go about forgiveness? And sometimes I think that I've already forgiven people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know this. I know they were in this space in this time acting this way. And I can understand that, so that way I can forgive them. And that forgiveness is often for myself, you know? And then I started thinking about it and I'm like, did I really forgive these people? Have I really forgiven these people in my life that are popping back up and around me with the energy that I don't want to deal with, you know? And I was faced with a feeling that I don't know if I ever looked at it like this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I ever looked at forgiveness the way I do now. I was born and raised to forgive because I was born and raised in a Christian household. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say born and raised, but I was raised up a little bit toward the end, more of a Christian background. And my mother was always adamant about forgiving. And we were always so bad. We were bad kids, or like real disrespectful kids. I think maybe that might not even be true either. But I was always forgiven by my mother. She always, shown me forgiveness because according to what she wanted me to be like, I was not. So she would always have to be in a position of forgiveness for me. And then she explained how, Jesus was that way. And that's why she had installed the forgiveness on me. So, like, I always looked at it like, all right, well, I guess you gotta forgive. But like, when you go through something and you feel like some wrong's been done to you, it's hard to forgive. It's hard. You could say it. I've said it many times, like, I forgive you, I let it go, so on and so forth. But you don't really forgive. That should still be inside, So it's a healing process. As you know, in my other episodes, we talked about the depressions and the healing and so on and so forth. So this all correlates with that. This all goes a part of that. So in my experience, I realized that my forgiveness had to come from me first, to myself. I have to forgive myself first. Whether that's forgive myself for not knowing how to forgive myself for holding on and trying to hurt people back, forgive myself for not knowing better than whatever experiences that I lived in, because as you grow older, your mind expands. Hopefully, if you're operating your brain, if you're really like working in that space of consciousness, like yo, I'm up, I'm conscious of my shit. I'm not on autopilot. I don't ask questions. You know what I'm saying? The other day I read a post by somebody who's probably famous, probably well known, at least successful on Instagram when it comes down to their brand, and she has said, I don't know, I'm just not a deep person. I mean, I don't know this chick from a hole in the wall, but she owned a bikini company or something like that or whatever, and she was just like, oh, spirituality this and energy that and vibes this. I don't know, I'm just not a deep person. And she's like, in the pictures, like her and her butt, you know what I'm saying? And it just was like, it made me feel bad, because it was like, wow, like how is it that there's women like this in the world, blessed, stepped into abundance, and you know what I'm saying, like they're not even grateful for the operation behind the way that they are. And then it dawned on me, and then I was like, well, Janessa, obviously she's already tapped into abundance. She's already, her life and her soul's evolution process is probably already past the point where I am, where I'm ecstatic to even expand. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, that's abundance. Wisdom is gold and fucking treasure to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I look at it like that, but then there's people who probably passed that stage of evolution, and in their mind, they're now just tapped into their abundance, born into their abundance, and just like live like, I'm just blessed. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm just good, or who knows? I don't know. But I got angry, and because we're talking about forgiveness, I got angry. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why is it that there's people like this in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, it pissed me off. So I had to forgive myself for that. And I had to understand that that was also a part of my not knowing how to expand into that consciousness. Like, because when you're younger, or when you're not at that vibration, you can't understand things. So that will then cause you to act ways that you would not want to act. Like if you were your true self, or your future self, or your higher self, you can see back the pattern in retrospect and be like, damn, I wish I would have never act like that, or had I known what I know now, I would have never did this, or treated this person that way, or responded in this way, or created this situation, or whatever it is that you personally have done. But we don't pay attention to being in that journey. We're not really tapped into that. Like, yo, I'm on a journey, I'm evolving out here. Like, we're not really moving like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't. It's not taught to us. It's really not. So if you find that shit, if you tap into that shit, I mean, you alone, you're one of those people who have ears and you have heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that saying. That's one of my favorite sayings. So, I realized that was something that I was going through. So forgiveness started to dawn on me this week. Like, excuse me, this jacket, this sweater is so warm, but it's also itchy. It's got little hairs and they fly all over the place, but it's so warm. So forgiveness, the need to be able to forgive people is fucking hard. It's hard. And then most recently I had been going through some stuff, and I was feeling like, if you don't apologize, then you don't get forgave. Like, I don't forgive you. I can't forgive you if you've never made amends, if you've never apologized. You understand? Like, if you've never acknowledged the things that may have been wrong, and you don't necessarily have to even understand, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the things that happen. It's like they don't understand that they've done anything. It's such a difficult place to be when it comes down to forgiveness, having to ask for forgiveness and having to be forgiven. To forgive, having to forgive someone. It is hard. And everybody feels, I believe that people are valid in anything that they feel has been done against them. Like, I could have been like, yo, grab my coat, please. And you probably were hurt by that. Like, yo, why are you talking to me like that? Like, what do you mean, grab your coat, please, with that tone? Where I could have also said it like, hey, can you do me a favor and grab my coat, please? You know what I'm saying? Tone is everything or whatever. So I may not know what, I might meant the same thing on both sides of the playing field, but you might have taken it a certain way because you have your own personal stuff. And I might not be awakened to that. You understand? And you might not want to fuck with me no more because I have a certain tone and a certain way that I speak. And I might not realize that. And I may never apologize for it because it's just the way I communicate and I'm never awakened to it. You know what I'm saying? So unless a person knows how to communicate that with me, I might not understand that. I might not, So being in the position of having to forgive people that may not even realize they fucking hurt you on deep levels. I mean, you have, like, you know me, I always talk about the dualities. There's highs, there's lows, and there's probably some things that people did that are like, would be considered unforgivable. And then there's some people that have to understand, like, yo, forgiveness is no joke. It's a massively powerful fucking energy, B. It's so important, and I'm starting to really get that. Like, you gotta forgive people, like, because they don't know. And those that do know, even the ones that do know what they did, but is still in fear and don't even know how to ask for forgiveness, nor do they care or whatever, those are the ones who need forgiveness more. And those are the more powerful forgivers. The people who are able to say, like, this person was fucked up. They did this to me. And you know what? I forgive them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to fuck with them no more, but I can forgive them. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know, and they're worse or less than who I am. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I don't know if that's even valid. I don't even know if that's even valid thought. But all I'm starting to realize is how fucking important forgiveness is. How important it is. Like, we make fucked up choices as people. You know, what I might consider fucked up, you might not consider fucked up, or you might consider worse things fucked up, or whatever have you. Everybody has their own dynamics. We have to first start understanding that your truths are your truths, and they're not necessarily viewed as the same as the other person's. And when a person needs forgiveness, even if they don't ask for it, they probably deserve it. You don't necessarily have to deal with them, I guess. You know, like right now, there is a person who popped back up in my world that I personally, so I said I forgave them. I said in my mind and in my spirit that I had forgiven them for whatever I felt was done to me. But the moment that they popped back up like nothing ever happened, I didn't want to engage. I really didn't want to engage. And the reason why I didn't want to engage is because I wanted to still fight. And when I realized that, I was like, okay, this is not forgiven. You know what I'm saying? I've accepted what it is. But I don't forgive it. I haven't forgiven it because he wasn't sorry. And I feel like I shouldn't have to, I don't know. I kind of don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of don't want to deal with it and approach it. I don't feel obligated to engage in this. Yeah, so forgiveness at the end of the day has just been, just because you did something that doesn't sit right with people doesn't mean that you can't be forgiven, or that a person won't forgive you, or it was done so badly that, you know, you probably don't want to ask for the forgiveness because you feel like they're going to reject you and not forgive you. You know what I'm saying? Really, to be honest, you need not to forgive. You need not to be focused on how the other person is going to forgive you. You have to focus on yourself and forgiving yourself. Once you can forgive yourself, then that is when you know how to sit to the other person and say, yo, can you forgive me for this? Sometimes you might not feel like that you need to ask for it because it might not be serious to you. You might feel like, yo, I will forgive them for this, but they might not feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if I even made any sense this video, because I just needed to speak about that. I guess that was just on my heart, and I just needed to put that out there. You know, whoever it's for, however it resonated. For me, I've been like, you know, I forgive me for my behaviors and my own perceptions and the way I treated myself and shit that hurt me. And then when the people come around and they want to ask for forgiveness, then I'm able to then explain to them why I can forgive them or why I can't. You know what I'm saying? Or why I do, but I don't deal with people. Because I'm a forgiving person, but I don't fuck with you. And you might transpire that, and you might look at that and say, well, then you didn't forgive me. But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fucking fool. I don't put myself back in situations I don't need to be in. And I understand universal law. And I understand that when patterns pop up, they for, you know what I'm saying? They for learning. Learning and getting over. Not for repeating. So, whoever's that for, I hope that resonated with you. You know?